Good afternoon, my cuties. Today is Friday, May 1st. We made it to May. I cannot believe that we have been working virtually together since March 16th. We've been making videos and I'm just so proud of you. You guys have been so positive throughout this whole thing. You've been continuing to do your work and lift each other up. And I just think that that is so amazing. I have a couple of announcements for today. One is I'm just gonna do the spelling test and Tales of Despero today because I'm getting this out to you a little bit late and it is so beautiful outside. So I wanna make sure that if you have not had the opportunity to get outside in the sunshine today, that you get through this video quickly and you get your booty outside and get some vitamin D because it is absolutely gorgeous out. We are meeting next week on Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. for our live chat. I thought it would be really fun if we made this time around a show and tell. So if you could please, and I'll make sure I put this in writing as well, bring a school appropriate item that means something to you. So try to make it different. I know in the beginning of the year we did a share circle and everyone brought something in. So maybe you want to bring something different in, something that we haven't seen. But that way we could stay really organized. Make sure that when you enter the chat, you're entering on mute. Make sure that your camera is muted and we'll just unmute for each person to have a turn and then we will close out. Sound good? Awesome. Make sure that you have a piece of paper and a pencil. We're about to dive into our spelling test for this week, so if you don't have that, pause the video and go grab it. As always, 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 you can pause the video after each word, write it down at your pace. You can go through the whole test and then rewind and start it again. Please tell me if you got a good score. I want to hear all those people who are studying, even though I'm not seeing you in person. Number 1, clean. Ms. Freed likes to keep her classroom very clean. Clean. Number 2, agree. You don't always need to agree with adults. Just make sure that you advocate for yourself in an appropriate way so that you get heard. Agree. Number 3, teeth. Is there anything in my teeth? Teeth. The next word is dream. I love to dream big and accomplish big goals. Dream. Number 5, grain. I love whole grain bread with peanut butter and jelly. Grain. Number 6, coach. In addition to teaching, Ms. Freed is a Beachbody coach. Coach. Number 7, display. I hope that the display of this video is clean, crisp, and clear. Number 8, window. I'm sitting in front of my window looking at the beautiful sunshine that I'm about to go in right after we're done. Window. Number 9, shadow. Did you used to be scared of your shadow when you were young? Shadow. Number 10, cheese. I just had some macaroni and cheese in my lunch. Cheese. Number 11, peach. It's important to remember that a peach has a big pit in the middle. Peach. Number 12, braid. Sometimes I like to braid my hair. Braid. Number 13 is Sunday. Make sure that you are capitalizing. Sunday. I hope it is as beautiful on Sunday as it is today. Sunday. Number 14 is float. Once you learn to float, then you can learn to swim. Float. And number 15 is thrown. I was thrown for a loop with this whole quarantine. throne. So not like a king or queen sits on their throne, but throne. Like I was thrown. All right, so feel free to rewind and do that again. Let me know how you did. Those words seemed pretty doable compared to some of the lists that we have had in the past. So I hope that you felt really confident and you performed well. We're gonna read one chapter of Tales of Despereaux and then get your booty outside because it is so gorgeous. This is chapter 48 called On the Tail of a Rat. So remember we left off yesterday with Botticelli convincing Despereaux that he was intentionally helping him for the greater good. He wanted to do a good deed and that he would lead Despereaux to the princess by holding on, if Despereaux held on to his tail. Have you ever had to hold the tail of a rat? At best, it is an unpleasant sensation. Scaly and cold, similar to holding on to a small, narrow snake. At worst, when you are dependent upon a rat for your survival, and when a part of you is certain that you are being led nowhere except your death, it is a hideous sensation. Indeed, to have nothing but a rat's tail to cling to. Nonetheless, Despereaux held on to Botticelli Rimorso. And the rat led him deeper and deeper into the dungeon. Despereaux's eyes had by this point adjusted quite well to the darkness, though it would have been better if they had not, for the things he saw made him shiver and shake. What did he see? He saw that the floor of the dungeon was littered with tufts of fur, knots of red thread, and the skeletons of mice. Everywhere there were tiny bones glowing in the darkness. And he saw in the dungeon tunnels through which Botticelli led him, the bones of human beings too. Oh my God, this book, you guys. Despereaux closed his eyes, but it didn't help. He saw as if his eyes were still open. Ha ha, exactly, Botticelli laughed as he negotiated the twists and turns. Shh. Oh yes, exactly. If what was right in front of Despereaux was too horrible to contemplate, what followed behind him was perhaps even worse. Rats, happy, hungry, vengeful, a parade of rats with their noses up in the air, sniffing. Here's Despereaux, and here's Botticelli. Mouse, sang out one rat joyfully. Yes, oh yes, mouse, agreed another. But something else too. Soup, called out a rat. Blood, sang a rat. Blood, they all agreed together. And then they sang, here, mousey, 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 here, little mousey. Botticelli called out to the other rats. Mine, he said. This little treasure is all mine. Gentlemen and ladies, please, I beg you, do not infringe on my discovery. Mr. Rimorso, said Despereaux. He turned and looked behind him and saw the rats, their red eyes and their smiling mouths. He closed his eyes again. He kept them closed. Mr. Rimorso, he shouted. Yes, said Botticelli. Mr. Rimorso, said Despereaux. He was crying now. He couldn't help it. Please, get me to the princess. Tears, shouted the rats. We smell tears, mousey, we do. Please, shouted Despereaux. Little friend, said Botticelli, little Despereaux Tilling. I promised you, and I will keep that promise. The rat stopped. Look ahead of you, he said. What do you see? Despereaux opened his eyes. Light, he said. Exactly, said Botticelli. Light. All right, we finished this Friday video in less than 10 minutes. I hope that it goes great for you. Let me know how you did on your spelling test. I can't wait for our show and tell on Tuesday. I have to think about what I'm going to bring as well. And have a wonderful afternoon and a great weekend. Make sure you read. Bye.